Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, March 22nd, and I'm here to give you my weekly stitching update. And I have lots to show you because if you've been following me this month, the month of March, I'm doing a different project every day, mostly to do with the History Sprints Challenge and Full Coverage Fanatics, but also when one of those challenges was not present, I just threw in another non-full coverage project just for fun. So everything is so that I'm still changing every day and kind of touching a bunch of different things. So that makes it a lot to show. So these videos are kind of long this month, but I don't think you're too mad about it. So I'll start off with a couple things that I got this week. One was a fun thank you card from a recent giveaway. Super cute. It's got some sparkle, cute little animals going to a shop. And she sent along it's still wrapped up, a cupcake needle minder from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. And I guess she had seen my recent project, the Cupcake Dreams, I think is what it's called, that I'm working on now. I've worked on a couple times and thought that would go really well with that project. So thank you very much. I'm excited to add that to my project. It's a nice, cute, small one too, which is perfect for the way that I like to stitch. So yay, that was fun, thank you. And then I got I bought some stuff from 123 Stitch, but I'll show it when I get to a project because it's for a specific project. And then yesterday, or actually no, this morning, I bought a pattern online from Carolyn Manning Designs. So Julie from Stitching in the Cabin, you need to look up now. She was showing a pattern from Carolyn Manning Designs that I hadn't seen before, and she has so many designs, and a lot of them are very pretty, but whenever I go to look at them, I'm like, no, I don't really want to stitch that. And so I looked at hers, I'm like, oh, that's interesting, I'll go take a look at that. So she sent me down a rabbit hole, and I found one that I think, yeah, I might actually like to stitch that. And Julie, I told her this, but I didn't tell her which one I was looking at. So I finally went this morning and bought it, and it's called Purple Pansy. And it is all backstitching because I actually kind of like backstitching. So it's, the whole thing is backstitching, and she calls it's in the category on her website called the Thread Sketch Collection. So what she does is she'll make a sketch on paper of what she wants one of her other designs to look like, and then converts it to cross stitch from there. But this is one that she took that sketch and just outlined it and made that the pattern itself using different colors of thread, which I thought was really pretty. And I think it would go pretty quickly. I really enjoyed backstitching in this case. Sometimes when it does have a mental block when you're in a project that's already got a whole bunch of cross stitch and then you have to go back and do a whole bunch of backstitch. And it can be a little demoralizing in that context. But in general, I really like backstitch. So I'm excited about this. And she recommends 3 solid color silky petite threads and 3 blendable variegated silky petite threads. And I've never used silky before, but I have this little pack that I got for Christmas last year, I think. Not the one we just had, but I think it was Christmas 2019. And it's got a bunch of variegateds. These are the blendables. This one is highly variegated, so it's got a bunch of primary colors in it. The rest of these are more tonal. I don't think I'll be able to use this one because that would maybe work for the green, but it's also got reds and greens and blues and all the colors in it. So I don't think I'll be able to use that, but I think I could use all the rest of those in this design, as well as just a random green from my hand-dyed stash, probably 2 strands. Unless I have a green silk that maybe would be fluffier, then I could use 1 strand of that. So anyways, I'll play with that. And I found some light blue Aida 14 count that's left over from my kits, and it's a tiny piece. So it'll have like a 1-inch margin on each side of this design, but it's much too small for my temperature tree. So I thought those colors would look pretty good on that. So I think I'm gonna try that. It won't be the exact same shades as this, but I think it'll be fun. And it'll be a chance to try Silky Petites. Her model is stitched on the colorway Petal, which I think is one of her fabrics she offers on her shop, and it's in a 14 count Aida also. You can see in the picture it's on Aida. So I thought I'll try the blend petites, sulky petites on the Aida 14 count, because that's kind of what she recommended, and I'll go for it. I think it'll be really pretty. So I don't know when I'll start that. One thing that changing projects every day in the month of March has done is made me a lot less likely to just randomly start something because I don't really have any extra time to devote to squirrels, to like running after this activity or that activity. So it's kind of reined me in a lot. So I'm thinking I might do more of that in April because I've been deprived in the month of March. But something like this I think could be started in April because it is still pretty springy. And there was a little bunny in like a flower pot thing that Shannon Christine Designs put out that was a freebie. I thought, oh, that'd be cute. I could do that on perforated paper and make a little ornament or a magnet or something for Easter. But again, I probably shouldn't because I have my plans that I've made for March that I really don't want to change. So I might play with that at the beginning of April because it's before Easter, but we'll see. So different things like that, and working on charting and bobbinating floss and diamond painting and anything random that's outside of just cross stitching, I haven't really felt like I have the freedom to do. So I'm kind of looking forward to not doing daily rotations again. I think I have about like a half a month to a month tolerance for this quick changing, and then I need longer stretches again because then I need to feel like I have a little bit more freedom in my crafty life. I guess we can start with travel stitching. So the first one is Temperature Typography, and this is one of my patterns that you can find in my Etsy shop. And that reminds me, I still have a sale going. It's a thank you. It's a thank you sale for this channel hitting 9,000 subscribers. So I'll put the code up here again. It's a coupon code 9K thanks, and it's for 18% off any instant download patterns because 18 is a multiple of 9. So, and that goes through the 27th, which is also a multiple of 9, which is Saturday. So it'll go through the end of the day, Saturday, probably Eastern Standard Time, which is Etsy's time zone. So I got caught up on this. And so here I am now. This is on 28 count pale blue even weave of some kind. And I'm doing it 1/1 full crosses. And I got my R done in March, and it seems funny, all of March so far has one light band in the middle of purple. These two light bands were the lightest color I have, which we didn't even get that lightest color at all in the month of February. We got a few of them up here, but it's been random. Some cold days thrown in there, and it's very interesting. The weather this year has been very odd, shall we say. So a lot of you, I've seen you sharing your temperature pieces this year too, and you're doing very creative things to account for the random weather this year. So then next we have my Prim Stitch series. I'm working on the 8th one, which is Pleasant and Gentle. This one has the cute big puffy sheep and the lady holding the big flowers. I didn't get a lot of time on this week. So this is another one. I think I want to give this several days, 2 or 3 days maybe in April, to just work on this project to get caught up, try to get more caught up. So that's kind of the plan too. Because so far I have not been able to get caught up working on this, just in the random bits of time that fall here and there. So this is how far I got this week. This is on the called for 25 count vintage cloth in the color Prim. Although I'm doing my 1/1 and random specialty stitches. So I almost have the orange done, the outside of the flowers, and then I'll do like a woven kind of, basket stitch thing in the middle of those flowers, I think. And then I will probably, I might move over and do the star and then come down and do the girl and do the girl and the sheep kind of around the same time. I'm not sure yet. I'm still kind of playing with the spacing on these big areas because I want to include some specialty stitches to help it go quicker. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work because I'm doing it 1/1. I am a little bit limited on what stitches I can choose because there's no middle of the stitch. Like if you're stitching over 2 on even weave or linen, or if you're stitching on Aida, there's your block, where your X will be. And then sometimes with the specialty stitch, you'll go up and poke it in the top middle or like the center. And there will be other hole points in that square that you can pierce the fabric, or if you're stitching over 2, you can find the holes in those other areas. If you're stitching over 1, you're stitching in this corner and there's no other places, and piercing fabric this tiny doesn't really work that well. So anyways, it makes it a little bit more challenging than if I were to be doing this 2/2 and then subbing in specialty stitches. It just makes it a little bit of an extra challenge. But that's fine. It's been fun so far. I have my Mill Hill kit that I'm working on every Monday. So today's Mill Hill Monday. I'll be pulling this out again for a little bit today. I like to get 2 or 3 lengths of thread on this every Monday. And so far I have everything colorful is finished, and now I just started to work on this outside color of the background, and then I can work on beads. Yay! So this is called Winged Monarch, and I'm going to do ideally 12 of these and rotate them out of a frame every month. And I think this one is, I'm planning to use this one for the month of May. So here is this one. All the called for, everything, perforated paper, floss, that all comes with the kit. So got a few rows up here stitched just while we were watching TV one time. I pulled this out, and I think there's a spot over here that should be more like this, where it's got a little hole in the middle in there, but I had started the row wrong, got all the way down and all the way back before I noticed it was wrong, and thought, doesn't matter. So that little, like, there's a little bump in here that's wrong, but I don't care. It was not worth fixing. It was not worth fudging the whole row just for that. So I'm okay with that. So that's fun. I'll pull this out again a little bit today and get some more work on that. So this week I'll share what I did for my main projects. I can hear the sprinklers and stuff, so I don't know if you can hear that, but it is a nice sunny day today. It's like maybe like 70, so it's a perfect spring day. Let's see. Last Monday I worked on my letter L fairy, and I am doing this is by Nora Corbett. I'm doing a color conversion with my own threads. She's got a pink dress, and everything else is mostly what's called for, except for the L. Let's see if I can show you better. The L is this color. It's a little purple, more purpley than whatever they have called for there. So I don't know what I said before actually. Most of the colors are my colors, they're similar to the called for colors as far as like the vines and her skin and hair and everything. That's like close to what's called for, but I don't think anything is actually what's called for because I don't have it. And I have other things, so I just sub it in. So here's what this looks like. I wasn't sure at first what I wanted to work on, but it looks like I got started on a little bit of the letter L at the bottom. I don't want this. Okay. The fabric is very see-through, so it matters where I have a thread on my needle, and it matters to me where it falls underneath the project, because then it affects how it looks to you. So this is the called for linen. It is 32 count water lily linen by Witchelt, and it's a pretty color. It is very see-through, but it is kind of stiff, which some people don't like. I actually don't mind that because of stitching in hand. It gives it a little oomph while you're stitching that keeps the tension nice. So I don't mind that. But yeah, I started here on, I actually started at the curly Q and kind of came around here. And it's a variegated thread, tonal variegated in browns, so you can see a little bit of change in there. This is the end of the L, and then it'll be the bottom bar and then the top bar, you know. So I'll come around here, go up the L, and then I'll be able to do some fill in as well as the outside of the border on the L. So yeah, so that's all I did. Not a whole lot, but Mondays can be kind of busy. So every little bit counts, right? And I would like to finish this by the end of the year to keep on track with doing these for my nieces. And I think I should be good with that one, because this is not as heavy of stitching as some of the letters can be. My next one was a start for to celebrate Leanne over at Small Town Stitches, her birthday. She wanted us to work on work on something that you've been putting off and you really want to start. And the hashtag was Stitch What You Love, Sal. And I have a collage, there's the word, that I put together of all the Celtic ladies by Lavender and Lace. So there's spring, that'll be summer, autumn, and winter. And I will do them in the called for colors, except I think I'm going to do a skin and hair conversion for some of them so that they're all different. I was disappointed to find out that all their skins are the same and their hairs are all slightly different, but the cover picture of Winter especially makes her look like she has a darker complexion, and I was excited about that, of having them all be somewhat different. So I'm going to change them myself. And I have one commenter last time recommended to share her color conversions because she was changing the skin and hair on some of hers. So I'll take a look at those, and I'll take a look at just whatever colors I have in my floss box and see what I like. So I'm not finished charting it, but I forgot to say this last time. I am planning to release, upon request, I guess, whoever wants one, an outline form of this. I can't give you my exact working copy because these are not my patterns. But I am planning to do, like, when I'm done and I have it the way I want it, I'll do like an outline of where she goes, an outline around each box of, you know, tile, around each tile square, that kind of thing, so that you can see where to place things. So if you have the patterns, you could plug in the elements and be able to stitch it. So I'm going to offer that to whoever wants it. When it's done, I'll let you know when it's done. And then if you want to stitch a cropped version of it, you can. I am really excited about this because I'm already doing the full-size Mirabilia queens. I like those ones a little bit better, so I'm happy to do the entire full-size project on those Mirabilia seasonal queens. But these ones, they're pretty, but I liked the other ones better. I didn't figure I needed 2 sets of full-size ladies for the seasons. So when I had this idea, I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So some of my haul has to do with this pattern. So I got some Petite Treasure braid. 3 of them are a bright gold and 1 of them is more of a softer gold. And they are one for each pattern. I think Winter might be the one that calls for the softer gold and the other 3 call for the same brighter gold. Each pattern, I think, calls for 4 cards all by itself. But since I'm cropping it, I don't know how much I'll need, so I just went with 1 card per pattern. And if I need more later, I'll get more later. But for now, I started with that. Same with the beads. Sometimes some beads called for more than 1 package, but I just went with 1. And I got all the beads too. So these are all the beads that I did not already have that the pattern calls for. So that's fun. So I went ahead and got that. So now I'm all set. The only thing I have to do is maybe double check the color conversion that I'm going to be using for the green needle paints floss, because I don't have those. And so I think there's a DMC conversion, so I'll just have to compare and see if I like how that looks with the other colors, and then adjust it a little bit if I don't like it quite as much. So I guess I should show you what I actually worked on for my start. So this I'm doing on 32 count lamb's wool linen. Again, this feels like Witchel, and it's pretty see-through. But I got the S and the P done in the DMC, and there will be petite treasure braid around the outside of the letters, along with some beads in the corners and beads in the middle of these little sections. I didn't want to do the beads quite yet, and unfortunately I didn't get the petite treasure braid in time to work on it. I was hoping to get some of the petite treasure braid done on this first day, but that was not meant to be. So that's more the color it is. So that's my start, SP for spring. So a small start, but a start nonetheless. So I'm happy about that one, and I think I want to bring it out for a little while in April, because I want to get a better start on it, which means I also need to work on the charting a little bit more to get the pattern ready. I want the pattern done, and just all I'm doing is basically symbol by symbol, row by row, putting it into my pattern software. So it's a slow process, but I figured it was worth it to be able to have it all in one place to work from. So I'm sticking it out, but it won't be done tomorrow. That's just to say that. Especially with all the project switching, I haven't really been able to spend a lot of time outside of regular life and these projects to work on that. So again, maybe in April I'll get some more time. So my next project I worked on was High Hopes by Just Nan, and I worked on this for Desiree, the Addicted Stitcher's birthday. She wanted us to work on something to do with nature, and it was #nature birthday Sal, and there's a kitty, there's some birds, there's a nest, a basket, a birdhouse, ladybugs in the corners, there's a spider, there's butterflies, there's flowers all over the place, lots of nature. I stayed up in the top and tried to finish up some things. I'm pretty happy with how far I got. So here it is. Lots of things over here to show you. This is on some 32 count green linen. I didn't know last time either, and I can't remember this time. But this is where I got to. This week is 32 count, mostly 2/2, except for where is called for 1/1. Like this ladybug is 1/1. The face of the hedgehog is 1/1. And it also called for pearl cotton in the white, and I did not like that. Some people might like that, but I found it really bulky and strange, so I decided just to do 2 strands of white where the white was called for, and I like it. It pops off the fabric just fine, and that was a decision I made last time. I didn't do any white this time, but just thought I would throw that out there. So I guess I worked on this bird, got him completely finished. There's some vines started in here. I worked on the nest, which turned out so cute. There's like cross stitching underneath and then some straight stitches. They go all along to make it twiggy. And then these top little guys for the baby birds are like tiny little Smyrna crosses that fit into one square. So they're really tiny, but it has a fun effect. And then this is the start of the basket right here. There's a little bit of some blue from the bird was in these flowers, and then I think that's all I did. So that was nice. I liked working on that. So happy birthday, Leanne and Desiree. That was fun to work on some things to celebrate your birthday. And so many projects. I like all of them, and I want to work on them all the time. So my compromise is to just switch them out and work on them here and there, and eventually they'll all get some attention. The next day, I worked on Visit Endor, which was for a history sprint in Full Coverage Fanatics, and this is from Country Magic Stitch. And I had mentioned last time that it was not in Pattern Keeper, because the last I had checked, their patterns were not compatible completely. However, I had a wonderful commenter who told me that they are now compatible with Pattern Keeper, and if you email them, they'll send you an updated copy. So I remembered the day before, and I emailed, and during the day I was supposed to stitch on this in the evening, I was able to get my updated copy, get it imported, and my previous stitches were all, I got them all put in, and I was able to stitch on it from Pattern Keeper on the day I planned. So I was very excited. So thank you so much for that tip. So again, this is Country Magic Stitch, and I got it on Etsy. This looks like a website, but I got mine on Etsy. And she has a bunch of different travel posters from fandom. So this one is Visit Endor from Star Wars, and I just did a little bit up in the sky, and I don't think I might have done some tree highlights too. So let's take a look, shall we? This is on 28 count Dove Gray Monaco, 2/1 half stitches. And this is the full width of the design. This is how far I got. So I filled in some blue, and then I did some of these blues over here too, and then some of this green. I think that's probably all I did. You'll know for sure. But yeah, that's fun. It's very simple. There's like 11 colors, which is one of the reasons I started it, to fit a prompt in Full Coverage Fanatics that needed less than 80 colors or something, and I didn't have anything. But I also have a good excuse, because now once this is done, and once Bear Time Stories and the Dragon Ride are done, all of my kids will have one nice non-full coverage and one nice full coverage that's finished for them. My daughters are already finished. I did Snow Queen by Shannon Christine Designs, and You Make My Heart Melt by Hade, which are a little freebie. I'll have to bring them back and show you sometime. And then recently I finished Touchdown for my oldest son. This is for him. And the Dragon Ride and the Bear Time Stories are for my middle son. So they'll all have at least two nice pieces done by their mama. So the next day I worked on Roses of Provence by Mirabilia. This is a fairly new start, so I'm still working up here in her. I'm really tempted to get over here and work on this bush, but I had some backstitching thread that had just been trailing in the back, and I wanted to get that worked in. So I went ahead and just worked on skin this time. So I had somewhere to put the backstitching thread and be able to tie that off and be done with it. So next time I bring it out, I'll probably come over here and work on the leaves and roses and things. So for now, I just worked on skin. So this is on the most gorgeous fabric I've ever worked on. Stonehenge 32 count linen by Color and Cotton. It's purples and greens, super pretty. And get up a little closer for you. So I started out working, I did a little short string of the light color, and then I did some of this more shady color here, and finished my string down here and then over here to start her second arm in the background. And then I came back and did even more, filled in this whole chunk of light colored flesh, and so I could add in the back stitching there and tie that off. So next time I don't have to worry about that string hanging down. So I do my skin on my mirrors 2/2 just as charted, and I still think they look lovely. And next time, her skin is still really crazy, a lot of empty holes, but I don't know. I do think I might want to go work on the tree next time. So we'll have to wait and see how I'm feeling when I come back to this, whenever that is. Probably in May for Mirabilia May, which is my plan for this coming May, just for fun. I thought it would be fun to work on all of my Mirabilias. I think I have like 8, maybe? I don't even remember. I'm hoping I have a good, I'm thinking what might be nice. I wasn't planning on starting anything new, but what could be fun, because I'm guessing by the time May gets closer, I will have seen so many videos of people starting things in May to go along with the original Stitch Mania philosophy. I will probably want a new start. I have several Mirabilias kitted up with fabric already. So what I'm thinking of doing is in another few weeks, maybe mid-April, I will bring to you all of my kitted Mirabilias and have you vote on which one I should start in Mania, because I think that would be fun. I don't have one particular one that's calling to me at this point. So I thought I'd maybe leave that up to you. So in the next few videos, I will ask for a vote of which new Mirabilia I should start, and I'll start one, and then all the rest will be the already started ones that I have going, and I'll put a few days on each one. I'm hoping at least 3 days on each one. We'll fill out the month of May, so that'll be fun. And then on the 20th, which was the spring equinox in the Northern Hemisphere, I worked on my spring floral cross, which I started on the first day of spring last year. And I did a few more prompts on this last year as well, so it had seen like 3 or 4 days of work last year. So I put another day in on it today, or this year. And so I'm using all the kit floss. This is no longer available in a Janlin kit. You could maybe find these on eBay or something, but this pattern and all the corresponding seasonal patterns can be found on the Cooler Design Studio website as either a PDF or a print copy, and I think even 123 Stitch has print copies as well. And I think everything cross stitch, like you can find the patterns various places, just not the kits, from what I understand. So I am using Called For Everything, which is 14 count, or kit everything, 14 count light blue Aida. All the crosses call for a different color of Aida, and so this one's on light blue, and I worked mainly in the top. I had a lot more stick, like browns and grays for the sticks is mainly, I think, what I worked on. I think I had a couple purples I worked on too. And this light peach. One of the colors was the same color as the text, so it only had like 5 stitches. So when I was done with that, rather than put it back on the card, I split it up and did the one-stranded half stitch, one length this way and one length this way, or one strand back stitch, sorry, to fill out some more words. And then I, got some sticks put in and filled in a little bit of the purple and the peach, and some down here too. So yeah, it's coming along. Decent amount for one day, I think. And then on Sunday, I worked on another full coverage for the History Sprints challenge. That was Mini Bear Time Stories by Randall Spangler. This is a Heaven and Earth design. This one's got a little teddy bear reading to some baby dragons. And I am doing mine mostly extreme cross country at this point. I think my son wants me to focus on things when I'm done with this color, so he can start to see things like focus on the teddy bear, that kind of thing. I'm toying with the idea of combining his desire and my desire to do extreme cross country. So I would pick maybe like a focus color in the teddy bear and do that everywhere in the pattern, because the pattern's not that big. So some teddy bear colors might also be back here in the wood. They might be in the book, you know, and so I think it would be easy to just pick a color in an area he wants me to focus on and then do that extreme cross country, and then ask him for more feedback for my next color. Where do you want me to focus on? Still the bears, you know, when we switch to a dragon, pick a color, do it everywhere, you know. So I think that's maybe a compromise between both of us. So that's what I'm thinking I'll try. So here is where I got to. I worked on this yesterday. Didn't quite get all of that color finished. There's still this corner to do. But this is 40 count Vertical even weave in white. I'm doing this 1/1 half stitches, and I have the cookie, a few other colors done in the cookie, but other than that, it's all the same color. Doing extreme cross country. I think it's like 991, 992, one of those dark burnt oranges. And so I did like all of this right here, and it took forever because of all the counting, little bits here and there, lots of counting, lots of carried strings. So my back looks like, oh, I should show you my Mill Hill back. Somebody wanted to see the back of my Mill Hill kit. So I do carry a lot, especially this is 40 count. So from here to here, it looks like a long way on the pattern, but it's less than an inch. So, cause this is really tiny. This was a nicer spot because then I could just stitch for a little while. It's all kind of touching more or less, so it's easier to count. But this is the bottom of the design, you know, the side. So I just have his this is the outline of this paw of his foot, and so his other foot's down here is some other stuff. So this corner still needs to be done. Then I can pick another color and see where that takes me. So this is super fun. I love that it's all kind of, it's a square. You can already see the whole piece kind of coming together, and it's super tiny because it's on 40 count. I'm enjoying that one. That one's fun. And I do wear contacts. My eyes are not perfect, but I'm young enough that I can still see the small counts with no help. I have a daylight lamp a daylight bulb in my lamp, so that helps to be able to see day or night. But for all these tiny little things, I'm doing it while I can, because I know the day will probably come when I can't do it anymore, and I want to just enjoy it while I can. So I had to say that too. So a couple other random pieces I worked on this week was my quick stitch iris that I worked on every day but Monday to get at least 65 stitches done. Where is it? Here it is. And this is another Heaven and Earth design. It's a quick stitch iris by Josephine Wall. And this is a focus on a finish for this year. I will definitely get this done probably in the next couple months. So here is quick stitch iris. This is on 25 count, 1/1 full crosses. And I love working on this. It's really fun. Keep filling in. I pick colors from left to right, top to bottom, and just fill them in until my string runs out, or until the color runs out, whichever is first, and then I move on to the next one, top to bottom, left to right, and slowly fill it in. And it's super cool watching it come together. So this is definitely, you know, the side and the bottom. I'm just filling it in. I think I'm like at 83%. complete. So that's pretty fun. Chipping away at that every day. It's always fun. The only downside is sometimes I want to keep working on this beyond my 65 stitches because it's just nice. It's a very soothing stitch. And maybe that's partly to do with the 25 count. Maybe it's partly to do with the nature of the detail. There's some blocks of color, but they're not very big blocks, and there's some confetti, but not a ton. So it's a nice blend of those two types of stitching. And so maybe that's partly why it's enjoyable and relaxing. And then on Friday, I worked on His Name is Jesus by Joyful Expressions. And this is a free pattern that you can get when you sign up for their newsletter. And they also have other patterns available for sale. And I am working on this with Desiree, the Addicted Stitcher, and when we visit on every other Friday. So we're just doing this only when we're only working on this when we talk together. So that's fun. This is on 28 count Ivory Lugana, 1/1 full crosses, and I got the Prince of Peace phrase finished. Yay! I'm putting in about one length of thread every time, so that's fun. Yeah, it's warm. It's like that. It's more the warmer color. But it's a slightly variegated Victorian motto. I believe it's called Sampler Blues or something. And then this next phrase I'll get to start next week is going to be in some red. So that'll be fun. I think it's Ancient of Days, maybe? I don't know. I'll have to see. No, it's not that. Now I'm curious. Must find out. The Anointed One. So the Anointed One is the one I'll do next. And that one's going to be in red. I believe Mighty God is in blue also. And then Light of the World will be in gold. And then I think this one, Omega, will be in gold too. So they have a recommended like charting for 3 tones of floss. So I'm following their placement of the 3 colors, and I just fit in the blue, the red, and the gold because I wanted His Name is Jesus to be in red. And so then I just picked, I believe they had, I believe I just went based on the darkness of the tone that they had chosen. I keep losing it. For example, I wanted my His Name is Jesus to be red, and then this is a dark color. So I decided to go with that one for the blue because blue is dark, you know, and then their lightest color, I think, ended up being the gold. So that's kind of how it ends up. And this is available. I mean, it does work in Pattern Keeper. There's a little hiccup on all of the 10 by 10 grids, but it's still usable enough that I'm using Pattern Keeper. So that's fun. And I think that's everything I worked on this week. So 20 minutes. Can I share my plans with you without running out of time? Let's try it, shall we? So this coming week, again, I'll be working on mostly History Sprints pieces. Actually, not mostly. It's about half and half. I have 3 non-full coverage and 4 full coverage. So the first one will be, let's see, let's read off my History Sprints prompt like I like to do. It's the 22nd. So on March 22nd, 1903, Niagara Falls runs out of water because of the drought. So the theme is body of water. And I have a few things with bodies of water in my full coverage pieces, but because it's about a waterfall for Niagara Falls, I needed to go back to waterfall in Yosemite. So this is one that I pulled out for a History Sprints prompt earlier in the month regarding Yellowstone. I needed a landscape. So I'm going to go ahead and use this for 2, but I wanted them on the day that they occurred in the History Sprints, so it'll get a little bit more time today. So hopefully I'll have a little bit more time on this than I got last time I worked on this, because last time I got like one length of thread. But if I get at least 100 stitches, I guess that's all I can expect. So here we go. My starting point, this is on 18 count Aida, 2/1 full crosses, and I'll do a side. Which way do I usually put them here? So I'll go here. More of a close-up on the sky so that I can just do a before and after of the sky, because I'll be working over here. I don't have anything on my needle over here right now, so I'll likely come up and work on this area right here, get that more filled in. So stay tuned. I'm not going to concern myself with these parked threads yet until I get this first row of sky finished. So that is my main goal. And this will be my daily focus piece whenever Quick Stitch Iris gets finished. So that'll be fun too. That'll give me some more time to get that sky finished up. Little bits at a time without it being too crazy and too boring. I like the piece in general, just the sky is big blocks of color and it's all pale colors, and so it's like, it's been a challenge. So they're pretty colors, I just want to get it done. Okay, the next one is going to be tomorrow, the 23rd of March in 1903 also. The Wright brothers obtain airplane patent. So the theme is something that flies. So this is one I use a lot for something that flies. I'll be doing my April fairy because it has some butterflies. So this is a Heaven and Earth design by Hannah Lynn. And this is one that I am choosing to continue to park on because I'm doing a specific technique of parking. That's meticulous diagonal parking. And I think I'm right about there. I haven't hit her skin yet. I don't think, so I'm about there. This one is on 28 count Rose Monaco, 1/1 full crosses. And that's my starting point. It washed out all of a sudden. But yeah. So maybe I can finish the diagonal. There's a lot of colors in there. So in one day I might not be able to get that whole diagonal finished, but that would be cool. We shall see. Especially, yeah, I think I have Bible study tomorrow, so that kind of messes up some stitching time. It's important, but it makes it a lot less of my evening is available. And then, let's see, then I have a couple days off from history sprints. So I'm going to plug in my son's piece, Dragon Ride by Teresa Wensler. And what did I work on last time? I think I've been working in his neck area. So I'll have to see if my son has any particular choices or if I'll just keep working on the neck. That might be the easiest, just to do that. But sometimes he wants me to focus on the wings, so I'll have to see if he has a preference this time. This is where I'm starting from. And this is on 28 count light blue even weave by MCG Textiles that I got at Hobby Lobby. They carry Artiste brand by Zweigart now. This is what they used to carry. And I'll do a closer part to this just in case that's all I work on. Then you can see before and after of that part. Because I do love this. It's 2/2 for the most part, except for the man who is 1/1. And it's pretty nice. So again, so this will be Wednesday. One day of progress isn't a ton, but every little bit counts. And then the next one is the 25th, and this should be the first release of the Frosted Pumpkins annual Mystery Stitch Along, the Cozy Cafe Club. This was originally supposed to come out at the beginning of the year, and then they had a lot of trouble sourcing kit supplies because of all the pandemic things have slowed down manufacturers quite a bit. So then they made an updated release once they got all their supplies in of like March 10th, I think. And then a lot of their kits that they had mailed out got stuck in the post office at one location for weeks and weeks. It wasn't, they weren't moving anywhere. So they delayed it again till the 25th. And I believe that's a for sure date that they're going to start. So we should get the first release on the 25th on Thursday. And I'm planning to use the Prim Stitch, the vintage cloth, the 25 count vintage cloth in the color Prim that I'm using for the Prim Stitch series. Planning to use some of that for my club, and I'll do mine 1/1, and it is going to call for beads, and I don't think I'll bother with that. I'll do 1/1, and maybe I'll just do French knots or petite beads. If I have some petite beads that fit, maybe I'll see if those will be okay for color wise. So that's my plan. I may not be doing the whole club. There might be some drinks that I don't care for that I'll skip, but I'll have to wait and see and kind of play around with that a little bit. The next one is one I've been wanting to work on for over a year because I don't think I worked on it at all last year. I do like it, so I'm excited about this one. Enchanted Alphabet by Lavender and Lace. And it's super cute. It's got a little girl right in the middle, and she's got a pet bunny on a string, and I guess those are just some flowers. There's a dove up here, and then all of these letters are actually charted in DMC with varying shades of gradient color, but it's all DMC. And I am doing mine, I don't believe there are any beads in this, so I decided to do mine, I think it's 56 count, 1/2. I think that's right, because it's about, maybe it's 46 count. Hand dyed makes it like a 50 count because it's about 25 count stitches when all is said and done. It's tiny. This is on some a remnant of fabric, I think, of a discontinued color that I got from Traditional Stitches. I think it was called Society Time, and it's really pretty. It's a nice light green. I like green and blue fabrics. So this is where I'm starting from. I like to do a whole letter at a time. So I don't remember where, although it looks like K is not done. So we'll see. I'll take a look at the pattern, maybe finish K, unless that's where the dress goes. I'm not sure. Nope, there is more K. I'll probably finish the K, and then if I have more time, I'll do something else. So yeah, that's fun. It's all DMC. It's very pretty. And I believe you can still find this pattern. I got mine on eBay, I think. It's a reasonably priced pattern that you can find here and there. It's called Enchanted Alphabet. And I'm excited to pull that out again. And then we're gonna go back to full coverage. History Sprints on March 27th, 1790, the shoelace was invented. That was cute. So the theme for this is shoes or footwear. And I chose to do another duplicate, one that you saw earlier in the month, the End of the Ball, because one of the reasons I got this pattern was because she has a cute shoe that's poking out underneath her dress, and I love fancy cute shoes from Victorian eras and things. So because that shoe is one of the highlights of this pattern, that's the one I'm going to choose. I do have a kit with a bunch of shoes on it, but since it's not full coverage, that doesn't count for this sort of challenge. This is only full coverage projects. So this is a golden kite pattern, and like you saw last time, I'm working up here, picking colors along the top. Some of them have started to show up in their heads, but I'm focusing on the top, and wherever those strings end up, that's where they end up. I'm doing this on 24 count Congress cloth in like ivory or something. And that's where I'm starting from. 2 over 1 half stitches and working along the top. So I'll probably pick that color first and see where that takes me. So this is the man's head, this is the woman's head, this is like the back of her hair in between their faces. So pretty cool. So that's where I'm starting from. I'll give that one day on Saturday. And then Sunday, the 28th of March, in 1794, the Louvre, it opens to the public. So that one, the theme is art or painting. And this one that I chose is one that often the only thing I can find to use it for is something related to it being a painting or an artwork. I guess it could work for royalty or women as well. But this is Princess de Broglie. This is a golden kite. This was my first golden kite. And I love her dress. I've loved this pattern since I saw it in an art class in college. And I just love those blues. So this was a restart, and I decided on my restart, I'm cropping it to here. So it's just above her head, a few rows. And then I'm also cropping out like this much on the side too, so that I don't have to deal with as much background and focus on her more what's the word? Without worrying about the background. I don't know. Why is this all tucked in? Anyways, this is on, I think it's Mushroom Lugan or Mushroom Even Weave that I got from Jessie Marie, actually. Jessie Marie does stuff. She was destashing. This is an MCG Textiles Even Weave in the color Mushroom, and it was the perfect color, perfect size. I had bought it already from her when she was destashing some of her stuff, and I have restarted it on this. And I think this is either the end or almost or very close to the end of this side of the pattern, so it's very exciting. And so I'm doing a similar concept, although I did go down and work on her face a little bit. And the string I have on my needle is yellow for face. So I will be working on that first. And then if I have more time, I'll do some more background. So there's that one. And then that reminds me as well that I need to show you the back of my mill hill before I forget. I had a request by a viewer a couple weeks ago. They wanted to see the back of my mill hill kit. So this is my Winged Monarch kit that I'm working on, and here's my back. So fairly neat, but also I do carry quite a bit. So there it is. I like to run my thread underneath the stitches on the back as much as possible. Since I stitch in hand, it's not a problem for me to do that, and it helps me keep it neat. So that's my method. So after this week, there's only one more history sprints that will be during the last partial week in March. So I've got history sprints for one day and then 2 non-full coverage that week. And then it'll go into April for the rest of that week. So that'll be fun to kind of, I guess I need to start planning for April this week. So stay tuned. I think that's everything. Let's hope so, because I'm running out of time and I showed you a whole bunch of things. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and I hope you have a wonderful week, a wonderful opportunity to stitch on whatever you're enjoying right now, and enjoy your spring or your fall wherever you're from, and happy stitching. Bye.